This is the Pal Talk News Network.
The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of paltalk.com, AVM Software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube and on Blip TV and on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you're encouraged to post your comments, whether you agree with yours truly or not. No retribution. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated to an additional 12 million households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten. I welcome you to the show, and I remind you to go to paltalknewsnetwork.com. Go early, go often, just like voting in Chicago, because those stories get updated frequently, and you will read missives that you may or may not see, read, or hear in the mainstream media from many different perspectives. Well, today, late breaking news. The President of the United States, Barack Obama, is authorizing the deployment of more National Guard troops along the border with Mexico. He has authorized the call-up of as many as 1,200 National Guard troops. Now, the way it works is the President himself cannot actually formally authorize the deployment. That's up to the individual governors of the states. But what he will be doing is requesting $500 million in supplemental funds from Congress to make it possible financially for the governors of the states along the border to put troops there. Now, you know, it's one thing to have Border Patrol agents guarding the border. It's another thing to have National Guard troops guarding the border, and there are some who might feel that this is sending the wrong message to our good neighbors to the south, the Mexicans, by putting basically troops on the border. There are others who might say, good on you, President Obama, and perhaps there are those among us who believe it's too little, too late. So I'd like to know what you have to say about this. Very interested, and I think I will take one of our famous polls on this. Bad, what's the word I used before? Message to send to the Mexicans. Good move by the President, or too little, too late. Let's start with Dane in New York. Dane, welcome to News Talk Online on the Pal Talk News Network.
Well, hey, Gary. How you doing this afternoon? Well, I'll tell you something. I have to say, I feel this is a good move. I think it's sending a very strong message to our neighbors that they need to up their game a little bit and secure things on their side a bit more, as what we're trying to do. I think that this is going to be an expression that is heard, finally, especially with some of the recent happenings in Mexico. These drug wars have gotten out of control. The killings, there's been over 2,000 killings since the beginning of the 2010 season. This is a very strong move, and I think it's appreciated by more people than noticed. Back to you, Gary.
Oh, thank you, Dane. By the way, somebody is suggesting that they never come to the shill room. I really like to know who I'm shilling for as host of this show, because I'm not exactly sure who that might be. And if you never come to the room, what are you doing here proclaiming that you never come to the room? I don't get it. But if anybody here has some idea who I'm shilling for, please do let us know. Gary in South Carolina. Gary, welcome to News Talk Online on the Pal Talk News Network.
Yeah, how you doing there today, Gary? You can put me in the column. You can put me in the column of a little bit too late, but I think it was a good move Obama did. I have to applaud him on that. I'm not an Obama supporter, but I have to support him on this. It should have been done years ago. I'm talking all the way back, even prior to the Clinton administration. We do have the economical problems with, I'm in the medical field, with the burden it's placing on the medical facilities in the border states. And that is a problem. There has been recorded several hospitals in the border states that have had to close down because of it. And it's a good move where he's going to be giving the money for this, and not, he can't legally federalize the National Guard and send them, that would break the rule of posse comitatus, which is a law where federal troops cannot be used in our own country unless, I guess, national an emergency is declared. But I will applaud Obama for this. We need to stop the illegal move, and now all we have to work on is the illegals that are in here already and cull them out somehow or other. That's going to be a big job, big task when you figure the number of illegals that are in here already. That's about all I have to say, Gary. Back to you, sir.
So Gary, you say it's a little, you applaud it, but you say it's a little bit too little and a little bit too late. So what else do you think that the federal government ought to be doing in addition to putting additional National Guard troops on the border?
Well, I think they should still use the funds that were approved for the fence and continue the fence building. That's not a total solution. But it does slow them down quite a bit. And I saw what somebody typed in the room a little while ago where they said fences make good neighbors. So, that's basically true. It's not going to stop everybody. If they want to come in here, they're going to get in here one way or another. But the main part is it's just a little too late. It should have been done over a decade ago, keeping the border secure. That's my meaning on that. Back to you.
Hey, Gary, I'd just like to know what your thoughts are about the fence between Israel and the Palestinian territories. There are some who are critical of that. They call it a form of apartheid, and I was just wondering, since you support completing the fence on the Mexican border, what your thoughts were about that.
Well, that's up to each individual nation and country. If the Israelis feel that a fence will help keep undesirables out that are the so-called terrorists, then let the Israelis build a fence. They'll have checkpoints where they can screen people to come through legally. I don't see a problem with it.